Great. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for coming. And thank you also to Nick and Fresh Business Thinking for inviting us. So the idea this evening is spend about an hour taking you through the journey of video and showing you some of the impact that video can make. So it's kind of a whistle-stop tour, but I think hopefully you can see how powerful it is. What I thought I'd start off is by perhaps stimulating your imagination. Imagine I'm coming to see you and saying, I've got a great business proposition. And the proposition is that for $1 a month, I can supply you with your shaving equipment, but I'd like you to invest in this company. So I don't know how many of you would be interested, but probably not a hell of a lot. It doesn't sound that great, does it? So I just want to show you what video can do, and I'd like you to sort of get into the feel of what this video is doing. Some of you may have seen it before, but it's quite an impactful video, I think, to show you the power of it.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu, and drive like a gangster when I'm coming to see you, see you, see you, see you.
That would be
Here
quite
we
good
go.
to see. That's
Let's
had
just pause
nearly
him.
10 million hits.
I'm Mike.
So incredibly powerful. So perhaps the major purpose of video is to differentiate and dramatize. And for anyone who's got their own business, most of us have forgotten how great the product we originally got into business for is. And so video can show people how you felt when you first started, why you were passionate, why you were enthusiastic, and express that in a way which no other medium can. So the agenda for this evening, Hugo and I are going to be sort of taking you through what types of video and what the options are, because there's lots of different styles of video. I often get sort of messages through saying, how much for a 3-minute video? And it's basically, well, how much is a ton? And they say, a ton of what? Exactly. So there's many, many different types of videos. So we're going to show you how you can apply it, how you create a video plan. So like everything else in life, the planning is what makes a success. We've all seen bad films and we've seen good films. And the difference between a bad film and a good film is the good ones have had more time spent on them before anyone touches a camera. The difference is in the script, the quality of the presentation, and so on. Then you get involved in the actual camera. How you execute the video plan, so what you can do. It's ubiquitous now. There are so many different ways where you can play, or places you can put video, so many different ways you can use it, that if you connect the dots properly, it creates a perfect circle of driving traffic and increasing response. So rather than using it as a tactic, then we're going to show you how you can use it strategically to get the results that you want. And the last bit is actually how you optimize and keep it going, because it's not something you can touch once and leave it. It's something which is constantly developing, evolving, and if you keep using it, it can be a great friend to you and your business in terms of developing where you want to go. Here we go. So I expect most people in here have seen all sorts of articles on how important it is. It is absolutely massive. I think it was Cisco that said 98% of all internet bandwidth is going to be taken up by video in 2 years' time. So people are brought up now to expect to watch rather than to read. It's an experience world. We live in a world where the experience that you create for your visitors, for your customers, is actually what decides what they do next. And we live in a pull, not a push world. So as soon as you start pushing something at somebody, the natural reaction is to resist. So video can pull, it can invite people in, and like the Dollar Shave video, becomes much more inviting and engaging for people. So these are some of the statistics which are absolutely phenomenal. And I think it's something like 72 hours of video uploaded to YouTube every hour. So good video stands out. If it doesn't stand out, then you're lost in a wash of different ordinary video. So there's lots of different ways you can use it. You can have it for blogs, for testimonials, for sales presentations, PowerPoints, a whole range of things. And it can save an awful lot of time in terms of what you're spending your time doing. We've recently done some video for a chairman of a bank who spent his whole life on a plane talking to investors. By using a video and actually filming what they wanted to say, we can reach people all over the world very, very effectively. So this is kind of a picture of some of the things that you need to have as part of the whole. So it's not just about pointing a camera and hoping it works. So there's how are you going to get your return on investment? Because pretty pictures are great, but unless you get a return on investment, most of you probably wouldn't be very happy. So before you start, you want to work out what is the outcome that you really want. And what we do is saying is, how are your people staying on the site? What sort of bounce rates have you got? How long are they staying? What's your conversion rates? So you target very specifically the objective that you want to achieve and the audience that are going to give you the result that you want. So then by planning your content, how you actually produce the videos and so on, then if you follow that circle, you create a whole which is far more powerful than any of the individual parts of that circle. So it's kind of worth thinking about the strategy, how you put it all together. So these are just some of the companies that we've dealt with. Is there anybody in here who doesn't use video at the moment? So video is kind of pretty ubiquitous, and the larger companies are really getting into it. Most of the companies we come across say, well, we know it's very important, we know how much people are using it and the response it gets, but can you hold our hand through the process? Because people know it's important, but don't necessarily know where to go with it. So that's part of the process really, is to work out, for each of these people, they had a different outcome, a different objective, and the videos were very, very different in each case. I'm going to show you some case studies later on in the presentation. So originally, when I started the business about 6 years ago, bandwidths weren't anything like as fast, and there was a kind of resistance that this is a bit of a new fad, not sure how it's going to work. So it was the first adopters who came in with video. They thought, we'll give it a try, and I suppose the time from making initial call or contact to someone actually taking a video was probably 3 months. Now, before the phone call is made, they know they want video. It's just a question of what sort of video do they want. So it went from experimentation to a tactical exercise of, okay, we'll put a video up on a site to try and increase conversions on the homepage, and now it's become much more strategic. So there's a lot of different areas to consider in terms of search engine optimization, in terms of the content you put together, and the way that you tie video into the branding of your company. Because if your presenter or your video doesn't match your branding, it's actually worse than having no video at all. So if you're going to do it, it's really worth thinking about getting it right, because it makes a hell of a difference. It's the best, potentially, it's the best salesperson you'll ever have. It works 24/7. It can't sue you. It never packs up. It never goes on strike. It's there all the time whenever somebody wants it to give the message that you want to give. So basically, if you look at this, who was it who produced this?
Adobe.
Adobe. So Adobe put this as a kind of what the most important elements that people want. So content marketing, conversion rate optimization, and social media engagement. And the top 3 things are all very, very much linked to video. So the main priorities for almost any business, you can't get what you want without applying the video process. So planning it, measuring it, optimizing it. So nowadays, video platforms can tell you everything you could possibly want to know. It'll tell you at what stage of a video someone is cutting out. It'll tell you where they're coming from. So it can be, at one level, extremely analytical. And the bigger companies are getting into this, so they know exactly what reaction people are getting. And then you can tweak the dials to up the results. So if someone is getting, as one of our customers did, for instance, 2 million visits a month, if they can make a difference of 0.5% on the conversion rate through video by changing A video against B video, then it's worth a massive amount of money to them. So one of the things is you can A/B test different videos against each other. You can we try short scripts against long scripts, male presenters against female presenters, and we can measure each response to see what actually is the best from a return on investment point of view. There are plenty of wedding photographers who become business photographers, but they're not necessarily going to give you what you want for return on investment. So I think this is over to Hugo.
Thanks, Neil. So I just wanted to take you through really where are some of the key areas, if you're looking at video, that you want to consider. And typically when our clients come to us and they're interested in understanding where video can help them, then the first thing that we would usually do is get them to take a look at their customer journeys. So what we do is we get them to think about, well, how are your customers engaging with you? And when you start to look at the traditional marketing funnel in terms of a customer moving from awareness, so finding out about your business, through consideration, actually converting and buying or your product or service, and then hopefully becoming a loyal advocate. At each stage of that journey, there are going to be different types of content, obviously, that are going to apply. And similarly, in our world, there are going to be different types of video that are going to apply. So what I thought we'd do is we'd take you through some different examples over the next sort of 5 or 10 minutes, just to really explain in each of these different areas of that video journey what's going to be relevant. And small plug for our website, there's a whole bunch of examples on there, so if you want this presentation afterwards, just let us know, and then you can watch videos to your heart's content. So let's start off at awareness. Google owns YouTube, so unsurprisingly, video is now a really important part of search. So if you don't have a video on your website, or if you don't have videos as part of your website optimization strategy, then you're missing out. So Google increasingly ranks sites that have video, and increasingly video results are going higher and higher up in the results. So let's take a look at a couple of examples of kind of where businesses have used video from an awareness perspective. Quite an interesting one that came up not that long ago was P&G. So this was in the US. They spotted that in one of the NASCAR rallies, there was an accident and oil was spilt all over the track. The guys that came out to clean it up used Tide, obviously one of P&G's brands. And very quickly, within 72 hours, they turned around a video, got it out on the social networks, and they reckon that the exposure that they got in terms of being highly reactive in that environment was worth to them about $8.5 million. They only spent $100,000 on actually doing it. Okay, this is big company world, but you get the idea that if you can actually take advantage of the situation, and in this instance use a really engaging medium, video, for actually taking advantage, then there's lots of opportunity to be had. An example from our world around awareness, we've been doing some work with L'Oreal recently, and we were helping them launch a new product. It was how to dip dye your hair. For all the men out there, that's dyeing the bottom half of your hair. There is nothing I don't know about dip dyeing your hair, by the way. We helped them really take a different approach to launching products. So what they wanted to do in this instance was actually use a content-led approach for launching this particular product. And so what they did is they built a microsite, and we helped them create a number of video assets to support it. So one central how-to video, how do you use this product to dip dye your hair, because that's what you want to do. And then leading on from that, once you watch that video, then 3 different styling videos. So it was really taking different levels of content, so taking the user, again, on a journey. And the result for L'Oreal in the UK was it's so successful that in terms of the product launch, it's been held up now by L'Oreal Paris, globally as a best practice example of how to launch products. So they're going to be taking that sort of content-led approach forward with future product launches. So then we move into consideration. So if you think about, you've got somebody who is now evaluating you and your business, they're looking at your product, your service. Well, there are some great stats and examples of how video can be used in that environment. So as you'll see here, consumers are willing to watch video a lot of the time that it's there. And if they actually watch a video, then they're much more likely to buy a product or a service that it's related to. So if you're creating content, make sure it's the right content, it's the right place, and it's actually going to engage your audience. A great example is a company called Zappos out in the States, so a shoe retailer. They produce videos for everything. So if you go on their site, they produce videos from their staff, from their customers, from their suppliers, all about their products. And there's just a vast amount of content, so they've really taken a whole sort of content-led approach to their online strategy, and they estimate that video has had a sales impact of 6 to 30% in terms of impact on their revenues. And how they're now developing that further, they're getting into the sort of social media side, so they've just developed what they call a tweet wall. So it's really linking social media into video, so it's allowing users to discover different videos and products and to broadcast that, but within a Zappos environment. So again, once you've actually got that content, you can start to do some really interesting things with it in an online world. I'm going to show you a couple of examples here just to give you a flavor of how different video can have different effects on websites. So this is one of our customers called Letting Ref. Unsurprisingly, they provide letting references. And I'm going to show you two different example videos and just show you how different videos can have a different effect. So we'll start with this one up here, and this was the first video that they went live with.
Welcome to Letting Ref. Are you looking to save time and money on tenant referencing? In our experience, letting agents and landlords come to us when they are frustrated with referencing that far exceeds 24 hours, struggling with chasing documents, emails or faxes from third parties, or currently paying more than £7 per credit check, including employer and previous landlord or agent referencing. If you can relate to these challenges in your business, sign up here to change this and get started.
Okay, so not a bad little video. That's actually what we describe as a web presenter video. We got some okay results with that, but it wasn't really what we were looking for. So we went back to the drawing board. We created a different script. We chose a different presenter. We then A/B tested that video with this video, and I'll share the results with you in a second.
Hello and welcome to Letting Ref. Are you looking for an instant online tenant referencing check? If so, you can join the thousands of agents and landlords, all of whom use our fast, simple-to-use online service. We'll make your life easier and save you time and money, all for as little as £7 per check. Let us show you just how simple it is. It's free to sign up, so click here now to get started.
So I don't know what your view is of the difference of those two videos, but the result was we had a 16.5% increase in click-throughs. So although the whole site, as you can see on their homepage, is designed to click the green button, just by having a simple video on that page, we actually got 16.5% more people to click that button and a 2.5% increase in people that then actually ended up signing up. So an example there of how it's not just about sticking a video on the site and just writing a script. Actually, you need to be putting thought into the overall experience, obviously, and the presenter and how it's displayed and the size and so on. And then I thought I'd share this one with you today. We got some feedback actually only this week from this particular client, SOS. They're a software provider in the legal industry. And why I thought it was worth sharing is because they were telling us where they were finding different uses for this video. So it's a product video. It's about their product and their service. So they're now saying they play it at the start of all their meetings with prospects. They have it on their website. They use it at exhibitions. They use it in emails. and they use it for clients to watch before they attend training. So with one asset, they're now really sweating that asset. They're using it in a whole range of different areas. So part of what we do typically to encourage clients is, in terms of understanding where they're going to get value from the video, is right up front thinking about all the different types and places where they could actually use that video as part of that whole user journey. So to talk about conversions, Neil's going to take you through this piece.
So the important thing everybody wants is a conversion and get some success from the actual video. So all the statistics are that anyone who sees a video, first of all, people expect to see a video, and if they do watch a video, they're vastly more likely to actually make a purchase. So these are some of the case studies we've done, which have been pretty successful. So this one for Virgin, for instance, I'll just show you. The idea was that if someone's going on a flight and let's say it's their anniversary or something special, then they wanted to upsell to them to upgrade. So we put this simple video on here.
On Virgin Atlantic, there are a choice of 3 different cabin options: economy, premium economy, and upper class. Click on the premium economy or upper class links to see what you get for your money. Perhaps you're planning a special trip. Take a look.
That video increased their bottom line on upsells by £4.5 million. So it's unbelievable. It is a complete no-brainer, because at the moment when a person is about to make a decision, you can help them. So I won't play them all because it'll take ages. This company here wrote to me and said, "We don't believe your figures are correct because you've doubled our business online." And he sent me the most fantastic letter afterwards, the week after, saying, "It has doubled my business." And it's basically, we had linked videos. So with video, pretty much whatever the question is, the answer is yes. So you can actually have a video starting and then you can click, so you can make it a very, very interactive experience where you're taking people on a journey through a particular pathway that you want to go through. E-consultancy, actually for the Virgin campaign, we won their annual award for the best digital idea. So they put it on their own site, and they got a 15% increase in their membership conversions. Sheraton, again with upgrades, for anything for upselling or cross-selling, video is incredibly powerful. So we had a couple of hotel groups. They got a 40% increase in upgrades. Another big hotel group got 190% increase in upgrades. So if it's done properly in the right way, it's very powerful. Again, claims for free, a lawyer's firm. We did one for them, got a 20% increase. In a recessionary time, then people tend to think of video as being the way to increase more income, because that's what everyone is after. So that's about probably 90% of our business is about increasing revenues. But it can also work at the other end of the scale where you're reducing service calls and service time. So, for instance, you can use video for FAQs on your website. So if someone has something which they keep on asking your people and you're spending time talking about it, put a video on there. So it's a really good way of creating loyalty through giving people enough information, enough interaction that they can actually get the information they want. One of the very effective ways of using it is if you have forms, these click-on forms, and you see it, as soon as people see that, generally speaking, they leave in droves because they say, "I'll come back later and do it." So by putting a simple little video on there saying, "Don't worry, looks difficult, takes 2 minutes to do, and it's going to save you a lot of money," is a really good way of just giving a little bit of a prod to someone to go through the process with the aim in mind. It's worth their while doing it and spending time. So you can create loyalty. And then you've got advocacy, so at the bottom here, which is basically how you can turn people into raving advocates who tell other people, which is the ultimate objective of any business. So this was a case study. If you can reward people for actually watching videos. So most videos you can actually sort of fast forward them and do on. So you can make videos so they have to watch the video. So let's suppose you've got a training video for your staff. You can actually award points to people who've watched a series of videos and they can't actually fast forward it. It's going to play and it registers when they've actually finished it. So again, another way of using video to get real value out of it. And this is a particular Brita water filtration. They gave a coupon for people who actually watched who got credits. Some of the figures absolutely massive in terms of YouTube and so on. People often say, can you make me a viral video? And the answer is you can't guarantee it. It's pretty much, you've got to make something which is attractive and which you think is as interesting as possible, but no one can guarantee a viral effect. Most viral videos are about the unexpected being caught on camera, which kind of engages people. If you can come up with a different spin on it, the likelihood in our experience is the person whose company it is the least likely person to come up with a viral idea, because we're all so close to our own and we love what we do. So often it takes a creative from outside to say, let's put this spin on, and it sometimes works, but viral's hard to predict. So the question is, who are you too late to have hit the jackpot with it? Well, the little ball that's at the bottom there is the percentage of companies right now who have video on their websites. So it's about just over 7%. So it is tiny. We haven't even scratched the surface yet. Video is going to become much more ubiquitous. People are going to use it interactively. So the experience that you create, the journeys you create for people become infinitely more interesting. And if you look at, I'm sure some of you have seen some of the videos coming out now, which are kind of, you have to ping on a ball or something and something else happens. There's a whole stream of events happening. That's going to become the complexity of video is going to increase dramatically. So massive opportunity, and most companies not using it. So here we've got the main reasons for actually having video. So the first thing is to differentiate. There was a chap called Roberto, I think his name was Goitotua, who was the president of Coca-Cola. And he said, in property, it's location, location, location. In business, it's differentiation, differentiation, differentiation. So in most of us, if we don't differentiate our products enough, what it means is the only resort we have to sell our products is we reduce our prices. So if we can use video to differentiate what we do and really dramatize the value of what we do from all our competition, all of a sudden the competition isn't competition anymore in the same way. So engagement with people. So I think the average amount of time that people spend on a homepage is about 8 seconds before they bounce away. And that's, if you're having a pay-per-click campaign where you're paying £5, £6 for every click to come to your website, it's an awful waste to drive that traffic here and then lose them through the cracks when they arrive. So the important thing is to have a video which catches their attention straight away, engages them, and keeps them on the website longer. So as a generalization, a simple web presenter type video will increase the amount of time spent on site by about 2 minutes. And the longer someone spends time with you, the more likely they are to do something. So then conversion, so reducing drop-off. So what is it? If you cut to the chase about what your company, what is the unique selling point about your business, about your product, about your service? What is it that you can express to make people, and to give a call to action to get people to do something that takes the next step? And then in terms of service, you can offer servicing in a whole new way. We had a meeting this afternoon where they're talking about when you get your gas bill, it's going to be delivered to you by a video. And they're going to say, here's this and here's that. So it'll be an interactive video. Each one is specified, is modulated around your own particular reactions to getting your gas bill and what you need to know and how you need to do it. So it is interesting in a number of different ways you can use it. Sorry.
Okay, so that's kind of hopefully an overview of what video can do for you. The next piece is really how do you do it? And it starts with planning for results. So the first thing that we do with our clients is really talk about strategy. And this doesn't have to be a big 4-week strategy project. This is just thinking a little bit more high level about what are you actually trying to achieve, and what content have you already got, what assets have you already got. We looked at the user journey. And so ultimately it's what are your business objectives, what are you trying to achieve, what are the key calls to action that you're going to try and get those users to take. So if somebody's watching your video, what do you want them to think, feel, know, and do? And then what type of content is actually going to work? What's going to engage them? What's going to get them really excited? Once you've got that strategy, you then obviously need to put it into action. We'll talk in a moment about the different types of video that you can get depending on your budget. And that's all about actually then delivering that particular video or that asset for you. And then the critical bit is around actually then getting the results. So video marketing and measurement and optimization. And those are the bits that quite often companies miss out on. We find lots of people will produce a video, stick it on YouTube, and then 6 months later wonder why they've had 53 views and it hasn't done anything for them. So I would sort of take you back to some of the examples earlier about where companies are thinking really quite innovatively about how can they actually use this type of content, how can they use it in all sorts of different areas of their business. And then once you actually get into the online space, there's a whole host of things that you can actually do to use that video and to get that video seen by the target audience that you want to see it. So later on in the presentation, we'll talk specifically about that optimization piece. We get the question all the time, what should my budget be? And the answer, of course, is it depends. It's all about the return on investment. So ultimately, our response to that question is, well, what are you trying to achieve? And if you're trying to get like Virgin £3 or £4 million in your bottom line, then you might be prepared to invest a little bit more than if you're trying to get a few new subscribers to your new website. So it's all about what are you trying to achieve and then working backwards. So we recommend that people take the same or a similar approach as you do to AdWords. So the whole idea obviously behind AdWords is you're spending money because you're actually getting a result. So if you take that same methodology and that same approach to actually creating video, then you're setting yourself up for hopefully success in a similar approach. So once you actually get into budgeting for a video, what are the things that you need to consider? Up front, it's about getting the business objectives right, and then at the end, as we've said, it's about the marketing and optimization. And then the piece in between that's really going to govern pretty much how much your video is going to cost, or your series of videos. It's going to be the length, so how long are the videos? Obviously shorter means less shooting time and less editing. And the location, so are you doing it in a studio? Are you doing it on location? Are you doing it at your office? Talent, who's actually going to appear in the video? So is it going to be an actor? Is it going to be an animation? Or will you be using a professional presenter? Or will you or your staff be appearing in it? Generally, we would advise to get a professional presenter rather than an individual, unless your business is all about you, and then it's really important perhaps that you convey yourself in that video environment. And then of course post-production, so what do you actually do once you've got the footage, and how do you turn that into something that's going to be really engaging? And the style and the theme and the approach that you're going to take in actually editing that video and creating hopefully that asset that's going to reflect your brand and your values, what it is, the message that you want to take to market. So those are really the key factors to consider. And so then what we thought we'd do is run you through very briefly just some sort of different video budgets, and typically what do you get for your money in the market right now. You can do it for free. So typically client testimonials are probably the best example of where actually having an iPhone or whatever smartphone you've got to actually record your clients and then put that into your YouTube channel is going to be usually a very credible way of actually getting some really quite compelling content. And in that environment, almost the more informal the video is, the more real it feels. So I'm not going to click on all these examples now. If you want the presentation, we'll send it through and you can watch them at your leisure. But typically in the free to £1,000 range, once you're starting to spend some money, then if you're going to use a studio for your video, then actually having a green screen background allows you a whole load of flexibility. You can actually create some fairly inexpensive videos that'll get you off and running. Then you start going up a level, so typically in the budget of about 1,000 to 3,000. Again, this is probably going to be studio based. You might start bringing some graphics into the post-production process, so that's going to really bring out the messages that you're looking to get across. And And in that sort of range, typically 1 to 2 minutes would be about the sort of average duration of a video if you're looking at that sort of budget. Then we go up another level, 3 to 6K. Then you're starting to look at possibly going on location. So this would be actually coming out to wherever it is your business operates, or going out on location to actually get a completely different feel for the business and for the video that you're going to produce. Typically, you're getting into bespoke pre-production, so you're getting into creative sessions around storyboarding and actually mapping out what are you going to get from the video and how is it going to run, and the scripting and so on. And you're getting into, obviously, higher-end production around graphics, and usually longer video in that instance if it's appropriate. And then we start to get into the sort of higher-end videos, and this is where you might start casting for talent. You'd be building out great storyboards, probably have whole production teams for the filming, and then be getting into much richer graphics and spending much more time and therefore money in terms of the production values of the overall video. And then in our world, anyway, the sort of top-end videos in the online environment, obviously it's a different kettle of fish if you're getting into TV, but in the sort of 15K plus range, that's where you're spending multiple days on location, large production teams, and much longer review cycles with the client. So you're generally going through different levels of hierarchy to get sign-off for videos and so on, and lots of edits. And typically, you're producing videos in that instance where we would see them as either online commercials or that sort of production standard. So hopefully that gives you a sort of flavour of sort of what do you get for your money, and sort of some of the ideas that you might go away with. However, it's probably worth remembering, what are you actually trying to achieve here? And ultimately, there are only 3 ways that you can increase your revenue. You can either increase the price of what you've got, so you can differentiate. You can increase the number of customers who buy it, or you can increase the frequency of your sale. And we would argue that there's a video strategy for each of those. So depending on how you're looking to drive your business forward, we'd recommend considering video in whichever way you're looking to drive revenue. Okay. Over to you, Neil.
Yeah, a couple of interesting things there, actually, because the costs there are based on dealing with someone who actually does it themselves within house. So we had one situation where we were on the phone to a client who'd been sold through a big advertising agency, and it turned out that our price for producing the video had been multiplied by 20. The other thing that was kind of interesting was we went out for talent a while ago, and so I had to get some prices for some celebs. So Joanna Lumley was 25,000 for 3 hours, and that seemed expensive until I found out that Philip Schofield was 50,000 quid for 3 hours. So you can go with production values, you can go as high or whatever you want to go. So in terms of developing a perfect pitch, and again, very few companies have a perfect pitch for what they do. Video is ideal, and the web presenter style, which we developed ourselves about 6 years ago, we're the first people in this country to do web presenters, is the way you can start. So the first thing is, before you want to deal with anybody in business, you have to like them, you have to trust them. So if someone starts pushing information at you straight away, the chances are you're going to resist it and not do anything. So the journey that someone takes with a video, generally speaking, starts with feel. So we actually create video which makes people feel they're in the right place, they've come to the right company that can help them with the problem or issue that they've got. Once I like you, then I want more information. So, and by the way, you haven't got long to get to the point. So generally speaking, our attention span is so short nowadays that unless you get to the point and get their interest in 30 seconds, they're starting to leave in droves. So after I feel right, I want to know more information. So I go into a think space. So there is, what do I need to know, which is content rich, which allows me to know enough to make a decision about your company. So I want to see product videos. I want to see a whole range of things which allows me to know more about what I'm buying from you, whatever it happens to be. And then the last part of the journey is knowing what to do next. So there's no point having something feeling right, knowing the right information without knowing what they have to do next. So that's the call to action. So if you complete that journey, the reactions are going to be quite dramatic. So the first stage to create the feel is a web presenter. So that is what we call a transparent video. So that's a person who matches your brand that comes on, not in a box, but actually as an integral part of the web page. Anywhere on the page we want, any camera shot we want, whenever we want, wherever we want. We can even flip up different languages depending where someone's coming in from. So you can play every different tune on the web presenter. So the next thing is to create the content videos. So if you think of the sizzle and sausage, so the web presenter is the one in 30 seconds approximately makes someone feel right, gives them the information enough to make them feel they've come to the right place. The sausage is the content. So here it might be a thought leadership, it might be a newsreel, it could be a whole range of things. So it could be a corporate blog, could be a corporate video. So what are the things about your business, your service, yourselves, your company that you feel can really impress people and they can relate to? And then in the knowing space, again, it can be a web presenter where they make a call to action to say, just click here or click on that button and so on. And any part of that screen can be interactive with video to make whatever you want happen next.
Okay, thanks. So we're going to finish off just by really looking at the most important bit, I think, once you've actually got your video, is how do you get results? I think it's fair to say that if you're flying blind on a rocket cycle, you're going to struggle. And video marketing without measurement, we would liken that to a similar situation. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the process for actually marketing and optimizing these videos. And it's all about achieving your goals that you set out at the beginning. So you came up with that strategy, produced the video, and now how are you going to actually get it to work for you? So first of all, you've got to optimize it. So YouTube being the largest platform for video, we would recommend that really is the place that you need to host your video, even if you're going to put it on your website as well. We'd definitely recommend embedding from YouTube because you're going to benefit from a search perspective as well. But you need to make sure that you do it in the right way. So there are fairly simple things that you do in terms of you use keywords that people are going to be searching on for your product or your service in both the title and the tags and the descriptions and so on, so that Google can find your video. You then need to be optimizing it for different devices and putting in annotations so people can actually click from the video through to your website or to your product or whatever it is that you're selling, so that there's a clear and simple call to action. When you actually look at how video is being ranked by Google right now and how people and users react to video in search results, it has dramatic effects. So actually having video and then getting it ranked by Google is going to pay huge dividends. So the next thing is, how do you get your video in front of the right audience? And so using some of the networks out there right now, using LinkedIn, Facebook, the Google Display Network, so that's their whole sort of Adwords and Adsense network. You can actually now in a fairly well targeted way, get your videos in front of the people or the audiences that you want to see it. You then need to think about, well, where in the rest of the web do you want your videos to appear? So there are ways in which you can actually effectively syndicate that video, so you can get it out onto some of the content sites out there that's actually going to be relevant to people. So if you're a training company and you're doing HR training, then HR Weekly, I'm making it up now, but HR Weekly website may well be part of a content network where you can actually then effectively insert your content into spaces on that site. So it's going to get in front of your target customers. And then there's blog network linking. So that's all about actually looking at who are the different companies out there that have audiences that you want to get your hands on, that you would like to see your content, and actually building links then through to the different assets that you have, so your videos and your blogs and your content, and actually building those links all adds into the overall effective SEO as well. And then critically, there's the measuring and tracking. And there are some really sophisticated tools out there that are free. So Google Analytics, as hopefully you're all aware if you've got websites, that Google Analytics is just a great tool for measuring what's going on your site. Similarly, there are some great stats on YouTube. So you can look at view-through rates. You can see how people are actually interacting with your videos. You can see what demographics are actually watching your videos. So all we would encourage you to do here is to track and learn and optimize. So it's not about just producing the video and hoping it works. It's around actually managing that asset and then looking at how you can improve it over time. So really the sort of mantra for this piece in terms of really delivering results is measure, improve, measure, improve. In order to track that return on investment, we would typically recommend that from a user behavior perspective, you're looking at things like, or stats like bounce rate, time on page and time on site, so how much time are people actually spending considering your business, and then drop-offs at each stage of the funnel. So as people go through that user journey, where are they dropping off, and how potentially then can you use video to keep them engaged in your sales process. And on the commercial side, then obviously you should be tracking conversion rates, sales per conversion, average sale value, and so on. So in that way, you'll actually be able to look at what returns and what results you're getting by looking at cost per acquisition, pre and post video. So then I'll leave it to Neil to wrap up.
So if anyone would like me to look at their website and give any ideas, no obligation, just for half an hour, very happy. Any of you want to contact me, have a half an hour chat about what you might want to think about video. Similarly, if you want to look at how you can have a guarantee that video will pay you back for whatever you spend, have a chat with either Hugo or I afterwards. We have a guarantee that the ROI will be more than the cost of the video itself. So if you want to take a toe in the water, exercise or whatever, have a chat with us. We're delighted to help you. It's a really interesting, and the great thing is it's fun. And that's the whole purpose of it. To me, the reason I love what we do is not because it's because at the end of the day, it's about entertainment. If you entertain people and what you do is something which you really believe in and you're enthusiastic about, passion, then that's what we want to be part of. And that's actually what everyone wants to be part of, because it's so rare, especially in this country. So whatever you want to be, however you want to be seen, it's a very, very powerful medium to get involved with. So I don't know what the score is. England's playing. Who's it playing tonight? Whoever.
Who are you? Macedonia?
So if we don't beat them, we're all finished. But anyway, thank you very much for spending the time listening to us. We're delighted to help you. I hope you found it reasonably interesting. Thank you.
Great.